In the dark recesses of space, far from the warmth of any sun, there exists a terror bred not from malice but from instinct. The Xenomorph, a perfect organism in the eyes of those who've survived its wrath, is a being designed purely for survival, efficiency, and relentless reproduction. Its evolution is not a matter of slow genetic drift, but a horrifying ballet of parasitism, transformation, and ecological dominance. From its humble beginnings as an inert egg to its final form as the towering and commanding queen, the Xenomorph's life cycle is a grotesque symphony that begins and ends in death. It starts with the egg, or ovomorph, a leathery pod-like structure that sits quietly in clusters, dormant yet aware. These eggs are typically laid by the queen in great numbers, often protected deep within a hive constructed from organic resin, secreted by mature xenomorphs. The egg's outer surface is thick and fibrous, making it resistant to environmental dangers and capable of lasting for years without nourishment. Inside, the embryo remains in stasis, its biological timer triggered only by the proximity of a viable host. When a warm-blooded organism comes near, the egg responds with swift precision. The top unfurls like a grotesque flower, revealing the horror within, the facehugger. The facehugger, a spider-like creature with elongated fingers and a prehensile tail, bursts from the egg in a blur of movement. Its sole purpose is to find a host and implant an embryo. There is no intelligence in its actions, only a desperate biological directive. Upon locating a host, the facehugger launches itself at the victim's face, wrapping its tail around the neck and securing itself with a vice-like grip. The appendages clamp onto the head, and a proboscis extends into the host's throat, delivering both oxygen to keep the victim alive and a xenomorph embryo into the host's chest cavity. This moment begins a metamorphosis inside the host's body. The embryo, now known as a chestburster, starts feeding and growing at an exponential rate. It draws nutrients from the host's organs and bloodstream, while remaining undetected by most medical scans. The host usually awakens from the facehugger-induced coma with no memory of the event, feeling slightly unwell but unaware of the parasitic horror gestating within. This stage can last from several hours to days depending on the species' compatibility and environmental conditions. Eventually, the moment arrives when the chestburster can no longer be contained. With a violent and bloody eruption, the creature explodes outward from the host's chest, killing the victim instantly in a scene that epitomizes body horror. The chestburster, though small and serpentine, is fully capable of rapid mobility. With acidic blood coursing through its veins and a primal fear of capture, it immediately seeks shelter in the nearest shadows. Over the course of mere hours, it molts and metamorphoses into its adult form. The growth is astounding, defying all known biological constraints. The mature xenomorph stands upright, usually between 7 and 8 feet tall, with a sleek, biomechanical exoskeleton, elongated head, and a mouth within a mouth filled with razor-sharp teeth. Its tail ends in a deadly blade, and its claws can rend steel. Most terrifying of all is its intelligence, not the intelligence of a sapient being, but the cunning of a predator with centuries of evolution behind it. The adult xenomorph, also called a drone or warrior depending on its role in the hive, operates under a hive mentality. It is capable of operating alone, stalking prey in silence with almost supernatural stealth, but its real strength lies in numbers. Xenomorphs do not kill indiscriminately. Hosts are necessary for reproduction, and thus many are immobilized and cocooned in resin for future implantation. The hive grows organically, transforming any location into a nightmarish landscape of bone-like textures and writhing shadows. Communication among xenomorphs is achieved through pheromones, hisses, and possibly telepathic signals, especially when a queen is present. Not all xenomorphs are drones. The genetic structure of the embryo is influenced by the DNA of the host, leading to different castes. For instance, a xenomorph born from a canine host might be more quadrupedal and agile, while one born from a human would be bipedal and more intelligent. This DNA reflex allows the species to adapt to any ecosystem. Over time, The hive's biological imperative demands expansion and diversification. When conditions require, or when directed by instinct, a royal facehugger is produced. This special facehugger is different from the standard one. It is larger, more resilient, and contains a queen embryo. Once implanted, the queen embryo gestates similarly but takes longer to mature. When the chestburster finally emerges, it is already larger than a typical larva and grows into a creature far more imposing than any drone. The queen is a terrifying behemoth, often standing over 15 feet tall, with an enormous crest-like head and a segmented ovipositor used for laying eggs. She is both monarch and mother, controlling the hive with ruthless efficiency. The queen's role is singular, reproduction. She can lay thousands of eggs, each containing a potential new life. But she is not simply a breeder. She is intelligent, strategic, and fiercely protective. In many accounts, the queen has demonstrated the ability to learn, adapt, and even manipulate technology to achieve her goals. Her presence inspires awe and terror among the hive, and her commands are absolute. Should she be killed, the hive falls into disarray, though certain conditions may cause a drone to undergo a rare transformation into a new queen, a process believed to be driven by hormonal triggers and hive necessity. The idea that a drone could become a queen represents one of the most horrifying aspects of the xenomorph life cycle. It suggests that no xenomorph is locked into its role permanently, and that the potential for regrowth and resurgence always looms. This regenerative capacity ensures the survival of the species, even after catastrophic loss. In some cases, Praetorians, larger, more powerful xenomorphs, serve as intermediaries between the drones and the queen, acting as her elite guard and potential successors. Beyond their biology, xenomorphs represent a form of perfection in evolutionary terms. They require no tools, no culture, no language, and yet they dominate every ecosystem they infiltrate. They are born fully capable of hunting and killing. They can scale walls, navigate air ducts, and ambush prey with terrifying efficiency. Their acidic blood serves as both a defense mechanism and a deterrent, making them almost impossible to kill without consequence. Even fire and bullets often only slow them down. Their only known weaknesses are cold environments and certain advanced weaponry, but even then, a determined hive can adapt or relocate. The psychological impact of the xenomorph extends beyond the physical. Their very existence challenges the human understanding of life, consciousness, and survival. They reflect our deepest fears: loss of bodily autonomy, infestation, and the inescapable predator in the dark. They are not evil in the conventional sense. They are simply doing what they were designed to do. But that very lack of morality makes them more terrifying. There is no reasoning with a xenomorph. No bargaining, no negotiation, only instinct, hunger, and the drive to reproduce. One of the most chilling aspects of their transformation lies in their relationship with the host. The host is not simply a vessel, it becomes part of the xenomorph's genetic code. There have even been instances of hosts retaining vague imprints of their consciousness within the resulting xenomorph, creating hybrid entities that defy categorization. Such hybrids, rare and unstable, represent the cutting edge of the species' adaptability. Whether these are intentional evolutions or biological accidents remains unclear, but their existence adds another layer of dread to an already nightmarish organism. The xenomorph queen, as the apex of this evolutionary hierarchy, is perhaps the ultimate expression of survivalism. She is not just a bigger version of her children. She is a strategist, an enforcer, and a progenitor. Her presence ensures not just survival, but dominance. Entire planets have fallen to xenomorph infestations once a queen has taken root. Colonial outposts, research stations, and even advanced military installations have been overwhelmed in a matter of days. Once the queen lays her eggs, it is only a matter of time before the cycle begins anew. Despite countless efforts to study, capture, or weaponize xenomorphs, humanity has never fully controlled them. Every attempt at containment has ended in tragedy, often unleashing even greater horrors. Their biology defies categorization. Their reproductive cycle is unstoppable once initiated, and their ability to adapt makes them one of the greatest existential threats ever encountered. Even artificial intelligence, designed to analyze and predict their behavior, often fails to fully grasp the scope of their threat. What began as a single egg hidden in the shadows becomes an unstoppable force, a dark mirror to humanity's own aggressive colonization of the stars. In the end, the terrifying transformation from egg to queen is more than just a life cycle. It is a reminder that evolution is not always a march toward beauty or intelligence. Sometimes it is a spiral into darkness where the only goal is survival, no matter the cost. The xenomorph does not evolve toward peace or civilization. It evolves toward dominance. And as long as a single egg remains hidden, dormant in the darkness, the nightmare is never truly over.